Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Neverwinter. I am KageKaze, and this is closed beta event number 4. The closed beta event that was intended for founders only. So, with that said, I have to thank my benefactor for getting me into this and getting me a founder's friend key. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to be looking at crafting as it was just introduced in this beta weekend. Unfortunately, I've lost quite a bit of time, and we are on the last day of the beta weekend. I haven't touched the crafting yet, so you're going to be learning with me, so we'll find out together exactly how this works. So this is not intended to be a tutorial. It's not really intended to be a guide. It's kind of intended to be more of a primer, just to let you know, hey, here's how it works, this is how all the systems look, and that way you might have an idea of what to expect when you get into the game when it opens up on the 30th. Okay, so first off, around level 10 is when you're going to get a quest to come here and talk or return supplies to the profession supplier. And from there you can actually start your crafting. At level 11 is when you can actually buy supplies from this supplier here. So we'll go ahead and use her and go to the store here. And you can see you've got the basic resources here. And we've got some assets here as well, so hammer, shears, and all that wonderful stuff. And it's kind of silly, if you ask me, that it opens up the profession merchant a level after you can actually start doing this. It's kind of silly, but it's okay. Let's see, what do we have down here? Inventory. Okay, that's nice. They have little buttons down here that let me show my equipped items in my inventory should I need it. That is very nice. Okay, so once you come here, and I actually spent a lot of time trying to get this tutorial to work, and it failed. Once you come to level 10 and come back, they're supposed to give you the tutorial, tell you how to do the crafting, so it starts with hitting the N key and bringing up the Professions tab. Unfortunately, that's where the tooltips stopped. So I was supposed to get some kind of training on how to do this, and it just didn't work. So what you can expect from Neverwinter's crafting is this. You have 5 different crafting types: leadership, mailsmithing, platesmithing, leatherworking, and tailoring. So you don't have anything like alchemy or weaponsmithing or anything like that, you know, other unique professions. So it's all based around armor. Now it's quite possible that you might be able to make your weapons from these professions as well, based on which one you get. I haven't looked too deep. I'm kind of looking right now into the mail to see if there are any weapons that appear here. And I'm not really seeing it, so it's more than likely not. So, leadership. This is the most unique one I've seen. It is the one I'm most curious about. Leadership, according to what they put in patch notes, is a introductory system. This is basically to teach you the crafting system, and it's a way to get some experience in Astral Diamonds over time. So you have not only ways of getting Astral Diamonds through prayer or invoking your deity or through running the skirmish of the hour or day. There's many ways to get Astral Diamonds. This is just one of them. As you can see here, even at level 13, there are rewards of some silver and some rough Astral Diamonds, as well as some experience for the profession. So that's quite nice to see. So what I understand of leadership is it's not just an intro thing, though. While it's there for that, it looks like it will be useful later for gaining different things that you'll want while playing the game. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go up to the filter. We can hide the higher level tasks now so that we can start off with the stuff that we can do now. And as we saw, let me turn that back off real quick, because this is something interesting. Is apparently you get rare events, crafting things you can do, and it looks like it lasts about each hour. So there are things, I'm guessing these are going to be kind of like crafting daily events or something like that, is what it looks like. And you can see each one gives you a little bit of experience, and they can give you some pretty nice rewards from the looks of it. Now, I can't comment on what kind of items you can actually craft. I have heard some complaints that the crafting does not quite keep up with your level as far as gear is concerned. That is sad to hear, but hopefully that will be revamped if that is the case. I cannot comment on it, as you've seen, I haven't even started using it yet. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's not waste any more time. I'm going to go into leadership. I'm learning this as I go, because again, the tooltips aren't there. we can see I can hire my first mercenary. So what do I get? I get a reward. I get a mercenary, which gives me plus 5% speed in optional slot. Okay. Person, leadership, rank 1, no level required. An asset used in common professional tasks. So it looks like I'm hiring people to do my crafting for me rather than crafting myself. Now, I've heard that if you're familiar with other Perfect World games like Star Trek Online, things like that, that you might be familiar with this system. Unfortunately, I have not played those games, so I'm not sure what to expect. Alright, so we'll also get 20 leadership experience. I don't see a leadership... I guess the experience bar is here, but it doesn't tell me how much I need for level. Let's go ahead and... It looks like it's going to take 5 seconds, so we'll do that now. Final result, mercenary, leadership experience. Start the task. Okay, and this is where diamond costs will come in. You can spend Astral Diamonds to speed up your professions cost. So task complete. So I can go ahead and click on collect result. Success, I have a mercenary and some leadership experience. Okay, so what this tells me at a glance is that I can craft or do one thing at a time. And as I reach milestones, I can unlock more, the ability to do more things. So like if I wanted to craft a shield and a helmet at the same time, I would have to unlock another slot. So it looks like in order to get more crafting slots, I have to either reach level 30 or reach level 60. So those are the first two basic ones. If you get a profession up to level 3, you'll get another one. Any profession to 10 and any profession to 20. So these will increase as you go along. If you get 3 professions to 20, you get another one, and then you have, looks like some events here you can do. Complete a task and earn the rank 3 result, or complete a task with at least 100% speed bonus. So as we see here, I have my assets now, I have my person. Let's go back into leadership. It's only given me a little bit, so it looks like 20 experience. There we go. Now it's telling me it's 20 experience. Required for next rank is 100. So at this point, I have basic training. Requires 1 asset of 1 person. It gives me a silver, 75 experience for my character, and 20 more leadership. So that'll put me to 40% to level. So that's 15 seconds. Let's go ahead and... oh, I need to have the assets. Well, I do. Okay. I see. Required assets. So I have to click on the asset button here. Any leadership, person rank 1. So I click assets. I have a mercenary. And I'm going to basically have my mercenary do basic training. There we go. I can finish now for 0. I could do that, can I? Well, I could do that. Hold on. Let's just do it. There. That's pretty cool. So it's 15 seconds. You really don't have to wait through it because, and at least it shows us how it works. So let's collect it. I've got my silver, experience, and leadership points. Okay. Great. So let's go ahead and go back to leadership. You know what? I want to go here. Can I go to choose? Okay. So it doesn't matter if I click leadership or if I go to choose task. It looks like I have a level 1 ability of pick up a package. So I'm basically sending out my mercenary to go out and do stuff for me. As like, hey you, I want you to go out into the world, venture forth. So it takes 1 required asset of a person. I will gain a small glittering chest of goods. Okay. It contains one of the following, either 2 potions of lesser healing or 3 residium. And it will also contain one of the other following items in the list: lesser healing, skill kits, enchantment, runestone, altars, uncommon profession resources, and common professional resources, or rewards as if it were a medium chest of goods. Okay, so there we go. We got some options there. So we're going to hit continue. And as we can see, this is going to take 2 minutes for this one. So let's go ahead and start the task. And this time we actually have a cost because this one is going to take longer. So it's going to take me 2 minutes for this profession to occur. I can spend 333 Astral Diamonds if I want to. I'm not going to do that right now. While that's going on, what I want to do is take a look at some of these other, like I have Leatherworking. More than likely this will be what I need for my rogue. And as we can see, the very first task is once again kind of hiring a mercenary. In this case, it's a skinner. And so I will hire my first skinner, and he will have a 5% speed bonus. So you can probably get more of these hirelings. Like here, hire an additional skinner. And I'm guessing certain tasks are going to take more than 1 person to do, and you can always, it looks like it'll increase the bonuses towards how you perform that task as well. We can see that some of these are quite lengthy. Look at 18 hours for an emergency hire. What does that reward you with? It's just a skinner. And I'm not entirely sure. Let me see. Click details. So I'm not entirely seeing what that difference between those two is. We can see some of them aren't too bad. So we've got 10 minutes on curing pelts. It looks like 6 hours for mass simple pelt curing. So, okay, I see the difference here. It looks like the rewards here are 2 simple leather, and the reward here is 8 simple leather. So that's an odd duration discrepancy here, because that's a difference of about 4 times. However, the experience is increased by 10. That is very interesting. We will definitely have to look into this some more, as it doesn't quite make sense for some of this. I mean, you definitely get an experience boost, but it looks like the requirements for your crafting, it takes 5 more mats, but you only get 4 times the product in return, even though you get 10 times the experience. So this is probably for, I would speculate that this would be something for gaining experience rather than for actual crafting. So it looks like our task is complete. Let's go ahead and collect our result. We're going to get the chest, experience, and some leadership. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and go into my inventory so we can take a look at that. Here it is. I can just double click it, and it gave me some residium, some portable altars, and some potions of healing. Excellent. Next leadership task. It looks like we have a protect grateful merchant. Okay, so he's going to go out, he's going to protect a merchant, and for his efforts he will gain a small chest of goods, a silver, and 20 more experience. As we can see, the duration of this, the cost of this is going up. So far I've spent no money. So this is kind of cool that your cost is time. Time and materials. At no point do I see in here that it's requiring cash. Although higher end tasks might eventually. Now the good news for this is that you can, let's start this real quick before I go into that. Continue, choose my mercenary, start the task. And that is 333 again. Okay, so the good news is any one character can pick up every single profession. Is the way this looks. I mean, if we go here into the overview, I mean, you can see, obviously, you can get 3 of them to 20. So, I imagine that counts leadership as among those. So, leadership, males, you can pick one, leadership plus 2 different armor smithings, and you could probably do all of them. I imagine you could. I don't see why not. The way the system is designed is it looks like you can, it's just that you're going to be limited to how many things you can do at once. So, that means if you have multiple characters, and that's kind of nice that if you had multiple characters, you could queue up a whole bunch of stuff here and then probably go to your other character and then queue up a bunch of stuff there. Duplicating professions that way, though, might not be mad efficient because you're going to have to go through all the low-level stuff anyway, which will, of course, cost you materials. So we're still at level 1, and I'm trying to see what else do we have here, because it looks like these are locked out because that's level 2, level 3... Yeah, it's not going to give me anything I can do at this point beyond that. Looks like there's another hire a mercenary, which has got more speed and some experience. And we can see the duration is, of course, 18 hours. And so this is the downside of this being unlocked now. Is you've only got this weekend to try it out. And, of course, everything being time-locked, you're not really going to have the chance to try out a lot of this. We're obviously not going to get very far in the profession because of that. And obviously I'm starting on the last day, so you're only going to see a little bit here from me. But what I can tell you while that's crafting is this, and I gave this a test out just to make sure. Here in your professions resource tab, oh, I can sort it, that's very nice. You can take these items that are in here and you can send them to other characters using the mail system. So we've got, oh, I can even take a look at my profession assets. Very nice. Looks like, okay, so 1 mercenary. Does it look like I can sell him? He has a cost of 8 copper. Oh, okay. So this is a secondary inventory tab that can be used and sent across other characters. Now this is only my character that has these, but I had other characters that had materials and I sent them off. You can go ahead and use the mail system for that. One beautiful thing about this is, of course, you put character at handle, but all you have to do is put your username at, and so I do this. And then I just throw in a item down here. I have to be at a mailbox to do it now, but you can do that. So if you find a whole bunch of materials on one character, you want to send it to another, you can do that. Not a problem at all. I was a little concerned since it was second tab. I wasn't sure if it would let me, but it does act just as another inventory slot. So as we can see, we still got about 2 minutes left, so I will go ahead and edit to that point, and we will continue the crafting. Alright, looks like our task is complete. I will go ahead and collect my reward of my chest, my silver, my leadership experience. One more should do it, and it looks like I have a choice of 2 different things. I can feed the needy. It requires 1 merchant or 1 mercenary. And it also requires porridge, a resource used in common professional tasks, can be found for sale at the market at the Protector's Enclave. So this gives me 5 personal experience and 5 leadership experience. It takes 10 minutes. I'm not entirely sure why I would do this one, considering it has low experience and low leadership experience. If I had more than 1 slot, I more than likely would try it. You know, if I had 2 slots, why not? You know, that would allow me to just go ahead and put those in, get a little bit of extra experience. So in this case, what we're going to do is the complete advanced training. So it's going to require my little mercenary here. It's going to give me a silver, 75 experience, 100 rough Astral Diamonds, so I'm already going to see return on my investment here, and 20 experience. I can go ahead and continue. This one is going to take 15 minutes. So at this point is when I will probably want to go out and do some questing, leveling, what have you. Maybe even get some more materials once I get later into the crafting section here, and that will be helpful. So it's looking like it would be much easier to be level 30 or 60 to start doing this training, simply because then I would already have 2 slots and I could start working on a second profession at the same time. So right now we're just focusing on the leadership. Leadership is the one I was most interested in because it seemed unique to me. I mean, there's no other game that I've seen something called like that, leadership. Again, I haven't played any other Perfect World games. They may have something like that. But this, I wanted to know what it was. When I heard the name, there was no details on it. So it's like, wait, what are you crafting? When you're crafting leadership, what are you crafting? So let's just take a quick look again. I just want to see if there's anything else we could glean from this. Like here I've got one. This shows some leather boots that require level 9. They are a little bit, about the same as the one I'm wearing, which requires level 8. And I think I see where the concern might have come from if I've got a boots level lower than what this one is and are equivalent. This is a little better. So I can't really say for sure. I'm not really seeing it. I have heard the kind of complaints on it, but I just don't know how bad it possibly could be. Oh, here's an interesting one. Oh, there's pelt training, or trading, sorry. It takes your leatherworker and a bag of gems, and if you do that, you actually trade for pelts. So you take the gems, you get 20 pelts, you get some rucidium, and you get some, of course, leatherworking experience. So some of this crafting isn't really crafting at all, it's kind of bartering. So you send out your merchants to basically get the materials you need for crafting other items. To me, that is a very interesting change on the crafting system. It is not a simple, like World of Warcraft, push button, get item, keep crafting a whole bunch of the item in order to gain experience in this. And not only that, but it would cost you a little bit of money for resources. Well, in this it'll cost you money for resources as well, but thankfully a lot of it is mostly time. Although I say thankfully, and I look at some of these times, like 18 hours, 4 hours, I just wonder if some of those are pretty long. I'm hoping that the return on the investment for these times will be good. Now, it looks like this is designed to be a system where you queue stuff up and then you just go out and do stuff. Go out, play the game. So unlike other games where you're sitting there at the crafting station and crafting and crafting and crafting, you know, I'll cite World of Warcraft, I'll cite Guild Wars. Guild Wars, you had to sit there at your crafting station and you had to do your discoveries and all that, and you had to keep doing that manually, and it was kind of a pain in the ass at times. I did like the discovery system, but the way you got levels was very kind of generic and grindy. And in this, you just put something up. You've got a professional basically doing everything for you, and so you're just kind of queuing up what you want that professional to do for you. So you're hiring people, you're kind of doing commission work, is what this looks like. And that's kind of cool. I was really hoping, though, for maybe something more interactive. Like, if I'm going to, like here, I don't have to sit at the profession place. I can do this from anywhere. I don't have to be at a crafting station. I can just wander in the world, hit in, and actually start performing my crafts. But I have to admit, when I talk about Guild Wars 2 and how it got grindy, yeah, that was definitely a concern. But I did kind of like sitting there doing the discoveries at first. And so what I would kind of hope would be to have more interactive crafting. I've heard of crafting systems, like, unfortunately I didn't get very deep into, say, EverQuest or EverQuest 2, but I heard that they had some very interactive crafting segments where you could basically choose quality over quantity or vice versa, things like that. That kind of system is something that seems like it would be kind of interesting. Maybe a crafting minigame-esque kind of thing where you are involved in the creation process of items. That might not be for everybody, though. I was kind of hoping for something interactive like that, but honestly, this is a unique enough system that I think I could very much like it, because then I like going out and questing while I'm doing other things. Like, I will queue up for a dungeon and go out and quest while I'm waiting for the dungeon, and that way the time is passing and I don't even notice the queue. So with this, I can craft stuff and I don't even know I'm crafting stuff or even think about it, because I'll be doing other stuff while it's crafting. Now, that has potential for me to miss the fact that my crafting is done. I'll do that sometimes. I'll just keep playing and playing and realize, oh, wow, that's done, right? But that can be kind of nice too. So we'll go ahead, let this finish up, and then we'll move on once we get to level 2 of leadership. Alright, I'm still waiting for my profession to complete, but I wanted to real quick chime in to show that the cost of the diamonds to finish now does actually scale as the time completes. So now that it's at 2 minutes, it only costs 333 as compared to what it was before. I think it was like 600 or 800 earlier. So you can see that dynamically it will change, and as it goes along, if you want it to go up to a certain point and you decide, you know what, I'm tired of waiting, you can at least know that you're not going to be wasting your diamonds doing that. Alright, looks like our task is completed. We're going to collect our silver, experience, and of course some rough Astral Diamonds. We are now level 2 in leadership, and so that brings this up. We can see that we now have a rare crafting section we can do. It is locked out still at this point, though, because it is a rank 3 leadership, not a rank 2, but at least we can start seeing what's available. And this one is extended guard duty, which takes my mercenary, gives me a couple hundred, or basically 2 silver. Gives me some experience for me and some leadership experience. That is a 6-hour one, so I'm going to want more mercenaries before I start doing something like that. It looks like what is available to me, though, is Feed the Needy, Guard Duty, and Martial Training. So, of course, Feed the Needy is still there. That is the quickest one. That'll just give us 5 experience in each. Obviously, I would have to go buy some porridge as well. I'm not exactly in a position to do so while I've been waiting here. Looks like I'm going to have to send him out to do more. If I want to continue on, I'm going to have to do more guard duties like this one, which is a silver, 150 experience for me. Then we've got 40 leadership experience here, so that'll get me almost halfway through the bar already. Well, hold on, does it take... Okay, no, it takes 300, so it definitely takes more experience as you go up. I can do martial training. This one is 4 hours. So you can see that this one takes 2 hours. This one takes 4, so it's double the duration, and it is double the experience, so 40 leader compared to 80. The difference being that this one, being shorter, will also give me personal experience and silver. So you might think, let's go ahead and do this one because it's more experience, but this one will give me a couple more items. And quite honestly, this one gives more reward for the time spent than the one that takes longer. Honestly, I would like to see this reversed. I would like to see that if I'm going to have a choice between 2 hours and 4 hours, I want the 2-hour one to be the one that gives me, like, say, the 40, and then the 8-hour one to be, like, not only does it give you the 40, but it gives you a couple extra rewards because you took the time to sit and do the extra one. So if we do 8, it's 125 experience, basically. So that would give me 225. I would still be a bit short to hit the next level. What I want to do is we're going to go ahead and let's do another profession. Let's go ahead and go into leatherworking. This way we can kind of prove that we can do more than one profession. So there we go. I've got level 1 here in leatherworking. And it looks like they start off taking a bit. So 10 minutes on the very first tasks already. Leadership was a little bit quicker until now. So now that leadership is level 2, they're going to take quite a bit. Well, this is actually, this is not going to be quite a bit, honestly, compared to what it looks like it will be down the line. But here we have, if we do our leatherworking, we can see they start off at about 10 minutes. And this one looks like it's going to be a little harder to level up, honestly. Even at level 1, there are some really long durations here. So here we have, I can gain a couple pelts and some experience. So this one is less about experience, more about getting resources. This one I can cure pelts, so you could... It looks like you have kind of a progression. I send them out, I get a couple pelts. Then I can go and do this one where I cure those pelts. So I take the 2 pelts, buy some rock salt, and he will give me 2 simple leather. And this one's a mass one. So we've got this. I still don't. I definitely don't understand this system of doing things, because here it's 10 minutes to take 2 pelts with 2 salt to get 2 simple leather. Here it's 6 hours to take 10 pelts with 4 salt. So it costs me twice as much salt, 5 times as much pelt. So basically this is more efficient when it comes to the salt. You're not going to use as much salt, that's fine. But you're also getting less reward for what you're putting into it. I'm losing 2 simple leather here, since I'm giving him 10 and only getting back 8. But it is giving me 10 times the experience, but the problem is 6 hours. That is a long time to have him go out and do that. Now, if he's my only choice, then yeah, I would most definitely do that. Well, we have a couple more. 15 minutes takes a few simple leathers. Now, I have a few of these items already, these leathers from going out and adventuring. Let's just go ahead and take a look, and we can see. And there we go, I have my skinner as well. Then I have some simple leather and all that. And at this point, because I'm not level 30, I have to pick and choose between which profession I need to go into. So it looks like it's going to be a few hours for anything involving leadership. So let's go ahead and go down the road of leatherworking and see what we've got. It will give me, takes 100, so I can get halfway there with these 2, and then all the way with this, but that's 6 hours. I wonder if it'll give me more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a few of these and do them. And then we'll see if it opens up any more, or if the options I have available to me are only what's here. Because from what I can see here, it gives me just enough to go on to the next level, but it's going to take me 6 hours and 35 minutes to do that. Ignoring these 2. These 2 are basically resource gathering. Like, if I didn't have the simple pelts and leathers I need, that's what these 2 would be for. That's what they're designed around. You can see they're only 10 minutes. They don't give a lot of experience. They only give 5, but they're there to give me the items I need. These are designed around getting me experience and, of course, some items. So I'm thinking that doing these will not open up anymore. I have to get to the next level to do that. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and do that because that'll take a little less time. And we'll see what happens. So what I want to do is, let's get the shirt. Because the shirt is obviously better than what I have, and that's going to take 20 minutes. So I'll go ahead and hit continue. We will send out my, I have to do the skinner, can't do the mercenary. We'll start the task. There you go, he's off for 20 minutes, and it's about 1,300 Astral Diamonds. Oh, you can even see it ticking down as it goes. That's kind of cool. Alright, so that is some of the basic crafting. We'll come back and we'll take a look at it once that completes. Alright, looks like our leather shirt is complete. We're going to go ahead and collect that. We get the shirt, we get the leatherworking experience. There we go, decent chunk of experience. And it looks like I can do it again, actually. So I can continue to do each one of these if I want to. Okay. Well, that's not bad. And as we can see, I'm missing the leather that I need. So in order to do that, I am going to have to start these. So basically, I'll go in, get my pelt, get my leather. Of course, I already have the pelts, and I have the salt. So I can just go ahead and select this one, and then I can go ahead and make the shoes, which will get me one step further. Unfortunately, after that, I would need 8 more leather, which I would have to get through questing and adventuring, or I would have to keep doing this, these two here, over time. Unfortunately, what that means is I'm going to spend a lot of time in crafting using these low-level things just to get materials. Now, I'm glad that they give you materials this way, because it's a way of allowing you to craft and get the materials that you want without having to just continually go back to areas and constantly grind. Like, something about leveling low-level professions in other MMOs I've played has been where you have to go, if you're trying to get these materials that you need, more often than not you have to go back to a low-level area, just kill hundreds and hundreds of monsters until you get the materials you want, especially in like leatherworking in old Warcraft. You would basically skin, and you just had to keep doing that if you wanted to level up that profession. And in this way, you now have a way of getting those materials, but it is kind of slow. You know, if I want to get these boots, I need 4, right? So that means I have to do this twice. Let's say, assume I had no materials. I'd have to do this twice, and I'd have to do this twice. That's 40 minutes just to be able to make one of these, which is another 15. So that's about an hour to get these. So if I had to do this twice, that's 10. Then this, that's another 10. So that's 20 experience at least. So that would at least give me a decent chunk into the level. But I can see where there are some concerns about the crafting system. It's not just about items possibly being under the curve as far as your level, but it's also that it seems like you don't get the mats you need through adventuring. Like, I've opened every single chest I can think of. I've had Arcana kits, I've had Dungeoneering kits, I've opened tons of treasure chests, and even so, as you can see, I'm level 1 leatherworking, and I don't have enough materials to make more items. So it seems like the items you find out in the world, even though the Dungeoneering and all that is pretty much your gathering profession, you're never going to quite gather enough from those professions to continue on through adventuring alone, is what it looks like. You're going to have to use these low-level areas, or these low-level crafting recipes, or whatever you want to call it, events, commissions, in order to keep going. At the very least, as we can see here, like I said, you can have as many professions as you want. I mean, that's great. Let's see if tailoring is any different. Looks like I need some spool of thread. Those I can buy from the merchant here. So these things are usually bought from, like, if we go ahead and go here, we'll talk to the merchant. Go to the store. See, there it is. Spool of thread. That's only 30 copper. That's not bad at all. I could easily buy that. But just like leatherworking, it looks like here I can gather some wool scraps. I can use the wool scraps with some thread in order to make bolt of wool cloth. And from there, it looks like once again I've got boots and a shirt. It looks like each of these is going to be about the same. I bet you that it's boots and a shirt each time. I'm just going to open up everything here and take a look at it. Let's go to plate. And, oh, okay, this is nice to see. I'm glad I did this. So with platesmithing, not only do you get the shirt and some boots, but there is actually a shield for the Guardian fighters. That is pretty cool. So it looks like platesmithing is Guardian fighter. Let's go ahead and go to the mail here real quick. Let's see what everything is roughly. So mailsmithing is going to be, it looks like, devoted cleric, and great weapon. Okay, so that's how it's going to be divvied out. So I assumed that the great weapon fighter was going to be a plate wearer because he was pretty much, I mean, they're both fighters. They pretty much look like he'd be a heavy armor guy. But so now we know that Mailsmithing will be for your devoted cleric and the great weapon fighter. What are the stats on these? Are they the same? This is power and defense. This is power and defense. 28 and 17. 28 and 14. Slightly different stats. For a second there I was going to wonder why they didn't just create a set of armor that worked for both the cleric and the great weapon fighter. That way it would help condense the item load. Okay, so platesmithing we know is for the guardian fighter. Leatherworking, of course, will be for the trickster rogue, and of course tailoring for the control wizard. That's as it stands right now. Of course, as more classes come out, I'm sure more items will be added. Which means this might get kind of cluttered. I would say that is a concern for me, that the fact that every single piece of equipment has to be devoted to some type of class. I almost think they're going to have to start putting it to where something like this chain shirt could be used by more than one class. And that might be what they do down the line. So yeah, some definite concerns here. I mean, it's obviously going to be a huge time sink to get this going forward. I'm pretty sure I could get this to level 2 without too much effort. I mean, obviously it's going to be a few hours if I go the route of mass simple pelt curing. But why would I do that? If I just did the shirt, I could make another shirt. If that's the case, why would I ever do mass pelt curing when I can just do simple pelts? It's far less time. The time investment is so much less. Now the money investment is higher. As you can see here, for every time I do this, it's going to cost me 15 copper. Whereas this is only going to cost, well, I'm sorry, that'll be about 30, so this will be 60. So the cost of in-game money is definitely less. I suppose if you're not concerned about crafting and doing the crafting right now, this would be a good alternative. Another idea would be if you are away from the game, you want to, maybe you're logging off for the night. Do the long ones. So thinking about it that way, maybe I've changed my mind about the long ones being worthless, because I can see it now. I can see it now because, you know, you're going to log off for the night. You can go ahead and you can just go ahead and do this mass pelt curing. Do the 6-hour one. You're not going to be at the game anyway. So why not let the game sit there for 6 hours, crafting something for you that you normally wouldn't do while you're playing. Now, this has even more benefit when you take into consideration, and I nearly forgot this, you can perform crafting, from what I understand, you can perform crafting from their Neverwinter portal. You see, Neverwinter is going to have a mobile armory app. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, you know about their mobile armory app. Neverwinter is going to have something that looks very similar. It looks like you're going to be able to look at the auction house. It looks like you're going to be able to look at your characters. And you're going to be able to go and do crafting. You're going to actually be able to look at your merchants and commission them to do things. If that, I haven't looked into it yet. I believe that's what they said it will do, and if it is, I am very grateful for that. Because that means I could be at work and still be getting stuff done in a game that I like to play. So if I'm on break at work or something, and so it's been a couple hours, I'll take a quick look. It's like, oh, okay, cool, my merchants are done. Let's have them craft some more stuff. So when I go home, and when I'm ready to sit down and just play, there is this stuff waiting for me. That is really cool if it works out that way. So I'd have to say overall, my impressions of the crafting system are favorable. So I will probably continue to craft some items and take a look at it further, and if I find anything new to talk about, I will amend it to this video. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for watching. I'm KageKaze. Again, if you found this video to be very informative or useful, please, by all means, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. All that stuff really helps to get this visible, and we can help people that haven't gotten into the last beta weekend event. Again, this is for founders only or friends of founders, so not everyone's able to get in. So hoping to get that information out so people will know exactly what they're looking at when the game comes out. So thanks again for watching. I'm KageKaze. I will see you next time.